All right. So we are going to talk about leadership. We understand that management, leadership, stakeholder management, and communication management becomes very important for our life in project management. We just consider all the aspects of project management. Everything is connected. So you cannot say that I'm only working on risk management, not stakeholder. Right? We need to understand all of these things and then manage a project well. So if we talk about objectives, yeah. So we have covered few things already. So I'm going to repeat that, discuss what it means to be leader. We understand that leader is not exactly as a manager. Leaders are visionary. They are working for the team. They are improving team members and they are developing their teams, right? So here we have also discussed that what people want and organizations need from their leaders. So leaders are expected to prepare more leaders for the organization. People want their leaders to be helpful so that they can grow in their life. Another part of strategic leadership could be companies want leaders to hire smarter people, and those smarter people ask leaders that which direction they should work, and teams work on those directions. Understand? And when team works on those directions, and teams are highly achievable team, they can achieve those results, but make sure they are under a good leadership. A good leader may not be a technically sound person. There is no harm in it, but leader is not supposed to be a technically sound person, but that person who can take rational decision. You can think of based on the given information and take such a decision to impact the results. And a leader is the person who is going to take responsibility of all the decisions. The good leaders never blame their team members. If something goes wrong, they say that it was a team decision and I take full responsibility. That's how we have to build leadership qualities. All right. And here also, leader doesn't mean that it is company CEO or co-founder. We still have leadership team in all the companies. It means those leaders might need to have good vision and mission statement to work on. Okay? And there are some personal characteristics that contribute to be an effective leader. So we discuss those things. Like you have to be um, thinking on the facts. You must talk about the people and you must have empathy. Now, let's talk about decision making. So it becomes very important, like we said, that in all the kind of companies, if we have a leadership position or we have a leader who's working with us, that leader might take some decisions, might need to take some decisions. And what is the basis of that? There are multiple ways they take decisions. So we are going to talk about different type of leadership styles, how they are taking decisions. I'm not saying that which decision type or leadership type is good or bad. I'm just explaining you what are the identified popular decision making type in leaders. All right. So first type is autocratic. Right. So we need to understand how should a leader make decisions. More specifically, To what extent should leaders involve their people in decision? As dimension of leadership behavior, participation in decision making can range from autocratic to democratic. Autocratic makes decisions and then announce to the group, right? And democratic leadership asks team members, get their input, right? And seek information, seek opinion and preferences. Sometimes to the point of meeting with the group, leading group discussion, and using consensus or majority vote to make the final choice. That's called democratic leadership. So there are different types between these two, right? Sometimes there are leadership where they ask team members and then whatever team members say, they consider it and based on that, they take a decision based on their judgment. It is not even democratic, not even autocratic. Okay. So we need to think of those things. One example of that could be suppose if you are a scientist, right? And other team members are not scientists, they are junior level or they don't know your field. So whatever they say, whatever their opinion could be, it may not be as good as yours. So make sure you understand if you are good in that field or you are subject matter expert. So what others think must not impact you a lot, right? If you are the expert, your decisions should be on top, not others. It's not about being right or wrong, or it's not something like you are thinking that I might be arrogant. No, it's not that. If you have knowledge, please make sure you use that knowledge for the company. If you are taking such a good decision based on your knowledge, then it is a good idea to have that. Don't think that what others will think. All the good decisions are always appreciated by company management. Okay. Now we are going to talk about effects of leadership behavior. Laissez-faire means this is a style in which the leader essentially made no decisions, led to more negative attitudes and lower performance. Okay, so we are going to talk about Lake and Morton leadership grade that is presented in next slide. We'll talk about this now at least. Like leadership philosophy characterized by absence of managerial decision making. We need to understand that if you don't make a decision, it is going to impact company performance. Bad decisions are still good, but taking no decision is not going to help anybody because team members are waiting for your decision. Now, check this one. And we are going to spend few minutes understanding that, and then you make your notes in next 5 minutes. What do you understand here? Okay, so we're checking this leadership grid. The performance and maintenance dimension of leadership are independent of each other. In other words, a leader can behave in ways that emphasize one, both, or neither of these dimensions. Some research indicates that the ideal combination is to engage both types of leader behavior. Well-known training model. The best known leadership training model to follow this style is Blake and Mountain Leadership Grid. In grid training, managers are rated on their performance-oriented behavior called concern for production and maintenance-oriented behavior like concern for people. Right. So this is the grid. The highest score is a 9 on both dimensions. Now we can see here closely. Concern for production is 1 to 9 and concern for people is 1 to 9. Now understand that if concern for production is 1 and concern for people is 1, like in then it means it is like the exertion of minimum effort to get required to work done is appropriate to sustain organizational membership. We always want that you are completely concerned for the production and completely concerned for the people. We want 9.9, 9,9, right? Right. And if somebody is only concerned for production, which is 9 and 1 for concern for people, then it means authority compliance. Like efficiency in operations result from arranging conditions of work in such a way that human elements interference a minimum degree. And there are most of the people lies in middle of the place where 5 and 5 is there. 5 is concern for people, 5 is concern for production. Like adequate organizational performance is possible through balancing the necessary to get out work with maintaining some morale of people at satisfactory level. Okay. Next is situational approaches for leadership. So according to components of the situational approach to leadership, so universally important trait and behaviors does not exist. They believe effective leader behaviors vary from situation to situation. The leader should first analyze the situation and then decide what to do. In other words, look before you lead. So there is a suggestion came from a very senior person who is doing good in the career. That person said that if you go and join a new company, don't try to speak a lot, observe things. If you observe things, then you get to know that what to speak, when to speak. Speaking something will not help. People may have different traits. And you need to understand how to convince people. They get convinced when you know what they want to hear. All right. So we need to think of the situation, how to and when to speak. Okay. There. So we call it office politics, but this is how it should be done. Okay. I'm not saying that we should always think negative, but we need to work with people, and people get offended by many things. Right. So a perspective proposing that universally important traits and behavior do not exist and that effective leadership behaviors varies from situation to situation. For example, nurses experience situational leadership on daily basis. How do you handle a leadership role under pressure? Understand? So every situation is different, every case is different, and you cannot utilize, you cannot use the things you learn from college or book. You need to improve, you need to improvise. Right? Next is the room model of leadership. So this model emphasizes the participative dimension of leadership, like how leaders go about making decisions. The model uses the basic situational approach of assessing the situation before determining the best leadership style. The room model operates as a decision tree in which you answer a series of questions, but it is one at a time. Choosing high or low of each, the specifiers are not important here. Eventually, you reach one of the 14 possible endpoints. For each endpoint, the model states which of 5 decision styles is most appropriate. Several decision styles may not work, but the style recommended is the one that takes the least amount of time. Okay, so we can have 5 decision style like this is decide alone, consult individual, consult multiple group members, facilitate whole group decision, and delegate to others. If we talk about Fiedler's contingency model of leadership effectiveness, effectiveness depends on 2 factors: the personal style of the leader and the degree to which the situation gives the leader power, control, and influence of the situation. This image that we can see here is speaking about the contingency model. The upper half of the figure shows the situational analysis, and the lower half indicates the appropriate style. In the upper portion, 3 questions are used to analyze the situation. Are leader member relationship good or poor? To what extent is the leader accepted and supported by group members? Is the task structured or unstructured? To what extent do group members know what their goals are and how to accomplish them? Is the leader's position power strong or weak, high or low? To what extent does the leader have the authority to reward and punish? Based on this score, Fiedler considered 2 leadership styles. One is task motivated, second is relationship motivated leadership. So, task motivated leadership places primary emphasis on completing the task and is more likely to be exhibited by leaders with low PLC score, right? And relationship motivated leadership emphasizes maintaining good interpersonal relationship and is more likely form high PLC leaders. These leadership styles correspond to task performance and group maintenance leader behavior respectively. So Fiedler's theory was not always supported by research. It is better supported if 3 broad rather than 8 specific level of situation controls are assumed: low, medium, and high. Right. So the theory was quite controversial in academic circles, among other things. It is assumed that the leaders cannot change their style, but must be assigned to situations that suit their style. So there is one more theory, the Hershey and Blanchard's situational theory highlights the maturity of the followers as the key situational factor. Okay, so the manager should consider an employee's physiological and job maturity before deciding whether task performance or maintenance behaviors are important. Job maturity means the level of the employee's skill and technical knowledge relative to the task being performed, and physiological maturity and employees' self-confidence and self-respect. Next is path goal theory. Path goal theory concerns how leaders influence subordinates' perceptions of their work goal and path they follow towards attainment of these goals. We have four leadership behavior. So perhaps most comprehensive and generally used situational model of effective leadership is this one, right? And let's see what are these behaviors. One is directive, second is supportive, third is participative, third is attachment oriented. Directive is a form of task performance and oriented behavior, and supportive means a form of group maintenance behavior. Participative is decision style, achievement oriented like behaviors geared towards motivating people. What is the framework? We can see that. So there are three key followers characteristics. Authoritarianism is the degree to which individuals respect, admire, and defer to authority. So, locus of control is the extent to which individuals see environment as responsive to their own behavior. People with an internal locus of control believe that what happened to them is their own doing. People with external locus of control believe it is just a luck or fate. So ability is people's belief about their own abilities to do their assigned jobs. So appropriate leadership style is also determined by three important environmental factors: people's task, the formal authority system of the organization, and the primary work group. Substitutes for the leadership, like sometimes leaders don't have to lead, or situations constrain them their ability to lead effectively. The situation may be one in which leadership is unnecessary or has little impact. Research indicates that substitutes for leadership may be better predicators of commitment and satisfaction than performance. So, factors in the workplace can exert the same influence on the employees as leaders would provide. This can provide useful prescriptions for how to manage more effectively. Here we need to understand charismatic leadership articulates ideological goals and makes sacrifice in pursuit of these goals. Such leaders have a compelling vision. The charismatic leader is also arouses a sense of excitement and adventure. He or she is a very good speaker who exhibit superior verbal skills which help communicate the vision and motivate the followers. Okay, so leaders who possess these characteristics or do these things inspire in their followers trust, confidence, acceptance, obedience, emotional involvement, affection, admiration, and their high performance. For example, Luther King Jr. was a brilliant, charismatic leader who had compelling visions, dream for a better world. Okay? They got many followers. Okay. So there are two types of leaders here: transformational leader and transactional leaders. So transformational leaders motivate people to transcend their personal interest for the sake of the larger community. They generate excitement and revitalize the organizations. The transformational process moves beyond the traditional transactional approach. Unlike the transactional leadership does not excite, transform, empower, or inspire people to focus on interest of the group. The transactional approach may be more effective for individuals than the collectivistics. Other leadership styles may be like level 5 leadership, a term well known among executives, is considered by some to be the ultimate leadership style. Like level 5 leadership is a combination of strong professional will, like determination, personal humility that builds enduring greatness. Thus, level 5 leader is relentlessly focused on the organization's long-term success while behaving modesty, directing attention towards the organization rather than him or herself. Authentic leadership is considered to be rooted in the ancient Greek philosophy to find oneself to be true. In your own leadership, strive to be self aware and authentic by being genuine, open with others, and trustworthy. Authentic transformational leaders care about public interest like community, organizational, or group, not just their own. Pseudo transformational leaders are opposite. They talk a good game, but they ignore followers' real need as their own self-interest, like power, prestige, control, wealth, or fame, take precedence. So these are the two types, and we can have many opportunities to lead. We can have like servant leader. This is very popular that we as a leader serve leads to other team members to strengthen the organization. Responsible leadership, the leader focus on decision-making process and choices that support corporate social responsibility. Lateral leadership, colleagues at the same hierarchy level are invited to collaborate and facilitate joint problem solving. Intergroup leaders collaborative performance between groups and organization. Shared leadership, people rotate through the leadership role based on which person has the most relevant skills at a particular time. Social entrepreneurship, engineering disaster resilience home. This is one example. See that energized to put her engineering skills to use to reduce the scale of loss from unsafe buildings. Hustler founded the nonprofit Build Change. It marshals the effort to relieve agencies, government, and local architects, engineers, and builders design and build safe, affordable, and appropriate housing withstand disasters. The question is, what makes Elizabeth Hausler such an effective leader? The answer is Hausler was able to make a vision and turn into a reality. She mentored a local organization and people in order to multiply her impact. Okay? And the next question is, to what degree is the Hausler a servant leader, a level 5 leader? Level 5 leadership is a combination of strong personal will, which is determination, and personal humility that builds enduring greatness. So, Elizabeth had a strong determination to limit the devastating impact of earthquakes in the developing world. These ideas they turned to a reality when they partnered with local individuals, organizations, and other organizations. Her organization is succeeded in many ways, not only serving lives and homes, but also nurturing new talent. So that's all for this week's uh, class recording. So please make sure you visit your weekly content to check what tasks you need to do, and you can send me a message if you have any confusion or any question for anything.